let's move on now to another topic here. um, let's see what else I had to discuss with you guys. Okay, we can talk about this Friday the 13th situation. All right, so we have been wanting a Friday the 13th movie for a while, right? And we're still going to have to wait a while. I don't want you to get the wrong idea or whatnot. It's still going to be a while, but the legal battle is over. Sorry, I'm trying to get this right. The legal battle is over, right? They finished their fight, and the way it ended is two people own half of Jason Voorhees, right? I think Horror Inc. owns the name and adult Jason, while Victor Miller owns young Jason with his mom and all this other stuff. Horror Inc. owns the hockey mask. Basically, it's two separate parts, and we have to find a way to get these two people who were in court fighting all this time to come together to an agreement to give us a whole movie. And I feel like it's got to happen. They didn't go to court just so they could make zero money. They just obviously aren't happy they got to have to share the money, but whatever. So today, Jason Blum was doing an interview with Collider, and because the movie Imaginary is coming out, and he talks about, he's like, no, I'm trying to get them rights. I don't just want it, I am hunting these rights down. So let's look here to exactly where he said. He said he was doing an interview, and he said Friday 13th is what I would do. He answered, it's not a Blumhouse project, but I'm trying to will it into being one. It's just a piece of IP I've always loved. And he also says that he would want James Wan, since now they have a combined company, James Wan and Jason Blum, they have a combined company now, he says, and James Wan at Atomic Monster are very passionate about it, and I think we would have them shepherd it for us. That would be a lot of fun. And look, I know some people are up and down on whether Blumhouse should have it, especially with what happened with the whatchamacallit, the Halloween series. But at the end of the day, I do feel like Blumhouse is a house of creatives who like horror movies, right? They enjoy that kind of stuff. Jeez, I'm trying to take off this ad. Sorry, guys. Okay, whatever. I just ended up clicking the wrong thing. All right, whatever. They're a house of creatives. They're people who like horror movies and whatnot, and they'll put the love and attention to it. Now, unfortunately, it would still be low budget. That's the thing with Blumhouse, is they make them on low budget, but I feel like there is something you could do low budget. Again, it's just a camp, and Jason doesn't have that many superpower powers unless you're getting to zombie Jason, where he can just basically do anything, Jason X and up the place and whatnot. I would love to see what they would do. And they'd be at least guaranteed for 3 movies. That's also the beauty of Blumhouse, is they make them cheap, so they end up making money, and it guarantees you at least 3 new movies. And we just went, what, almost 15 years, 14 years? I don't know how long it's been. It's been a long time since we haven't gotten any Friday the 13th. I would be down. Yeah, Blumhouse is meh. I agree. They're not the greatest. It always just comes down to execution. You tell me James Wan is attached, that's good news. James Wan has been attached to producing some other, maybe not so stellar movies. But to me, this could be a good sign. The other reason I say this is a good sign, because at least there's someone in Hollywood trying to get these rights. You're talking about Warner Brothers, Universal, Peacock, all these other studios. I bet you they're not thinking about Friday the 13th. They're not sitting down at their meetings going, how do we get a Jason movie made? You know who is doing that? Jason Blum. And Jason Blum has this weird power in Hollywood where he can convince legendary stars, like when I say legendary, I mean legacy. There we go. Legacy stars like Jamie Lee Curtis to come back for another Halloween movie. He convinced legacy star, was it not Linda Blair? Well, she is in the movie, but the main character, the girl who freaking gets her eyes cut out in the new Exorcist movie, which completely ruins the legacy of that character. It was not a great way for her to return, but he convinced her to come back. I think Jason Blum could get these two people, sit them down and say, look, we want to make this movie. We can get you a fair deal. We'll sign the contract. Let's make 3 movies and let's make it happen. That's the biggest reason. Ellen Burstyn, thank you so much. There we go. That's why I love you guys. That's the biggest reason why this news kind of hypes me up, because at least Jason Blum and Blumhouse are trying to get this movie made. He's like, I'm trying to manifest it. I'm trying to get those rights. I'm trying to secure them. And it's better than nobody in Hollywood trying to make this movie. We'll see how it turns out. We'll see. There's obviously money to be made. The Halloween movies made a lot. The Scream movies are making good money, enough to where they ruin the franchise, and they're still trying to make a 7th movie because they're like, hey, at least we're going to make something from it. So we'll see what ends up happening with our boy Jason Voorhees. We still have the TV series. Last we heard, it was supposed to premiere this year, but that was pre-pandemic and all that kind of stuff. I'm curious about how the Peacock show goes. It's also being produced with A24, so that, like, that gives me a little bit of like, ooh, that could be fun. So yeah, that's our update with Friday 13th. It's Jason Blum saying, "No, I'm trying to make it happen. I'm putting in the work. I'm gonna get this movie made somehow, and we'll see how long it takes him to get that to come true." All right, let's see what we want to move on to here, my friends.